Hello everybody, 15 minutes a day, Clear Mind Media. Today's topic is on the oxymorons of the United States Constitution. A lot of people have been talking about, going to war is constitutional right. We have to protect our Constitution, we have to protect our Constitution. But the problem is, if you really look at the Constitution, these aren't rights, these are privileges. Maybe at one point in time in the 1700s, after the Revolutionary War, maybe there was a right. But if you look at the basic premise of the way the laws are written in this country, these are not rights at all. They are privileges invoked upon a free America to make us feel that we have some say-so in the governance of our own body. And the sad thing about that is, with African Americans making up 13.5% of the population, we have been a direct component of not having the Constitution protected of us ever since Dred Scott versus Sanford. And we're talking about the 1800s. We're talking about 1861, 1863. So now that a lot of these U.S. citizens are now being targeted and now starting to feel the wrath of a piece of legislation that doesn't protect everyone individually, now they're starting to become a movement. And I think that it's only a short time now that there's going to be a spark and there's going to be a major explosion in this country. Unfortunately, I think that one of the very few things that will bring the soldiers out of these war-torn countries, which we're not fighting for anything because we've so-called killed their leaders, so, what are we still there for? The only reason why they will be able to come back is to protect this country from itself. When Saddam Hussein was killed, yeah, everyone was saying that, we was looking for weapons of mass destruction. That was a lie. The reason why Gaddafi was killed was because he was a tyrant. That's a lie. Look at the facts that are starting to surface now. And even Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, there was never a search and seizure. It was a kill order from the start. And it is becoming apparent that the United States is trying to kill off everyone that could possibly be a threat to them and their terroristic ways. Now, to talk about this, let's go into the Constitution. The very first right, freedom of speech, press, religion, and petition. That is a bullshit lie right there. The very first one. The very first one. You don't, in some states, you don't even have a right to videotape law officials. Why? Because the only thing that can stand up against a law official in a court of law is the unblinking eye of a camera. Now, if the police were out there doing their job, they shouldn't have a problem with you with videotaping you. When they're out on stakeouts and stings and stuff like that, and even this Patriot Act, they had no problem with videotaping you. Why can't you do that for them? Also, the right to free assembly, that is not a right. It is a privilege. Why? Because people are going to jail now. If this was a right, then why are people going to jail? They're talking about the right to peaceful assembly. Well, this is how oxymoronic this Bill of Rights is. If you are assembling and it is peaceful, somebody may think that this is a disturbance. Now, you're not going to jail for peaceful assembly. You're going to jail for public disturbance. See, so look how this law or this right is a complete contradiction of itself. People are going to jail, again, not because they have the right to peaceful assembly, but because they're creating a public disturbance. Well, so much for a right. The right to bear arms. That's a lie. That's a privilege as well. Because if you ever was convicted of a felony or you ever had possession of a firearm or you was convicted, there's a litany of rules that have to be applied to this privilege in order for it to be a right. Yes, again, back during the Revolutionary War and probably before that, yeah, there probably was a right to bear arms. Not now. Conditions for quarters of soldiers. Well, I would probably have to bring a soldier on to speak to this because I got out the military long before I had a chance to even find out if this is even a right or a privilege. But I'm going to assume that this is a privilege as well. The right of search and seizure regulated. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures. That right there is bullshit. If the police kick in your door right now, they have free reign to go through all of your stuff. Nothing is sacred in this land anymore. That right there is not a right. That is a privilege, and I would be surprised at who in this country falls under this. Wow. Ugh. This is sickening, people. Provisions concerning prosecution. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or in the militia, which in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. Man, just all of that gobbledygook, all that saying is, if you are arrested for prosecution, you have a right not to say anything. Yeah, but here's the problem. If you don't say anything, they're going to hold you until you say something. Yeah, persons of interest, my ass. If you are picked up, if 4 people are in a stolen car and 3 other people don't know that car is stolen, all 3 of you all will be convicted on that same one vehicle being stolen. That ain't no right. And that's a privilege. And again, who falls under that? A right to a speedy trial. Let me tell you like this. The United States law, the court systems, they hope you plea out before this. They hope you have a speedy trial. Because here's what happens. When you are arrested, they don't want to spend any more of the taxpayers' money, which we're going to get into in the next right. They don't see good cop work. They would rather, and I know that a lot of people don't believe this, but they would rather railroad you, scare you, use scurrilous tactics, bring in fake witnesses. I mean, who better to break the law than those that uphold it? And this is it right here, a right to a speedy trial. Yeah, you have a right to a speedy trial, but anybody under duress knows good and well that you don't want a speedy trial because cops are not detectives. They're just cops. They're, as you always hear them say, hey, we're just doing our job. Now, the stupid thing about that is if there is a gunfight and there is several people shot, you could be cowering under a car and a smoking gun is laying next to you. The cop doesn't bother to do any detective work or find out, is that your gun? You're going to jail. Why? Because that's how police think. And this is why I encourage people, look, get Legal Shield. Get protected under the law. If you don't know how to get protected under the law, contact me. I'll let you know how. I pay $34 a month in order to have 24-hour access to a law firm. And I'm not just talking about lawyers. I'm talking about any lawyer under the sun. What happens is when we are going out here in our daily routines, there is nothing that is preventing a police officer from pulling you over and taking you to jail. Whenever you get a speeding ticket and you sign that speeding ticket, really you're just waiving that opportunity for that police officer to take you to jail. Why? Because the speed limit is not a suggestion. It is a federally mandated law by the government. So in retrospect, if you are doing 1 mile over the speed limit, a police officer actually has the right to take you to jail. They do. But they don't do that. Why? Because there is a lot more opportunity to take other people to jail for other stuff that they can railroad them on, so they can keep them longer. So contact me so you can learn how to at least protect your basic necessities of freedom. Your car is insured just in case something happened. Your house is insured just in case something happened. I mean, people have insurances on all kinds of things. Your health. But how much money are you spending to insure your freedom? A lot of people would rather call their cousin or somebody that, you know, that has been through the system enough. Come on, people. You got to be smarter than that. Contact me. I will tell you what to do in order to be able to at least have some kind of defense mechanism against those that are out to get you. And I'm going to tell you right here, if you look at this Constitution, if you read all the amendments and appendages and all of that stuff, it will make you sick to believe that the Constitution is actually on your side. And African Americans, and I'm not picking on African Americans or anything like that, but I'm just saying the stuff that I'm saying is factual and actual. In the decision, Dred Scott versus Sanford, if you were brought here as a slave or you were freed as a slave, you were not protected under the Constitution. So when you find African Americans that are trying to roll back the hands of time and trying to understand where their lineage comes from, the reason why African Americans kind of just disappear into the vapor is because when we were bought, or when we were sold, or we were brought here as slaves, do you think that anybody was really keeping a detailed record of who we are? We weren't even protected under the Constitution. So no wonder you see a lot of African Americans as a society and as an individual in complete and utter disarray, because we have been disjointed from the start. And this Constitution shows exactly how that happens. Now, the right to trial by jury. Anybody that has ever been convicted of a crime or accused of a crime knows that this is complete and utter bullshit as well. Because this is what they do. They scare you into believing that they really have something on you. You can be completely innocent. But here's how the trick works. And anybody under the right mind, under duress, will probably do the same thing that a lot of these people do because they don't want to go to trial. Because anybody knows that if you go to trial and they can have the weakest speculation case against you, but if they find you guilty, they are going to throw the book at you. So what do they want people to do? They want people to cop deals. So this is the reason why a lot of these government agencies be bragging about 85 and 90% conviction rates. Why? Because anybody in their right mind is faced with a 2-year sentence versus a 15-year sentence. Of course they're going to cop out to a 2-year sentence. Why? Because the weight of probability is not in their favor. You can be completely innocent. When you look at the recent execution of Troy Davis, and if you look at the amount of people that are in jail, we have well over 2.5 million people in prison right now. And if anybody thinks that every last one of those people are guilty, you're smoking crack. You are stupid. And I hope that you're not having children, because if you're breeding that nonsense, you're part of the problem. Don't believe that. This right to a speedy trial, man, this right to a trial by jury, those two right there are nothing but railroads. Excessive bail and cruel punishment. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Anybody that has ever been convicted or wrongfully accused, this is the reason why they want you to check that little box, because when you go in front of a judge, anybody says that when you do a crime, you pay a debt to society. That is wrong. Society doesn't give a rat's ass. It's the law. When they pull your file up and they say, oh, you know what, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, you have a pattern of this. We're going to set your bail based on the fact of your previous enactments. Whether you cop deals, whether you're a change man, all that means absolutely nothing. Okay, now you're a flight risk, and then they're going to post your bail at $500,000, some ridiculous number that they know that you can't bond. So what you do, you sit there and hope that a jury trial doesn't convict you for the rest of your life, or you impose your right to a speedy trial so you can go ahead and get on with your conviction. Man, please. The Bill of Rights number 9. The enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed or denied or disparaged others retained by the people. The people? The people? The people are out there occupying Wall Street right now, going to jail. The people have no say-so. It's these politicians that's out there with the say-so. The people, you know what the people have the right to do? The people have the right to judge. That's what the people, this is the people's court. The people, like in the case with Kaylee Anthony, everybody under the sun thought, you know what I'm saying, hey, well, I find it a little bit odd that, you know what I'm saying, your daughter come up missing for 30 days and you don't say nothing. Yeah, people have the right to talk about that. But the people have no right to this Constitution, because if they did, they're going to be out there writing laws themselves. Yeah, Congress can't even pass laws. You think the people going to pass one? Bullshit. Rights under the states under the Constitution. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectfully, or to the people. Yeah, right. Bullshit. The states is out there making their own laws as they see fit. But what they try to say is the laws of the states should not supersede the laws of the Constitution. But when you look at the duality of the laws of the Constitution, it's open season. Come on, people. You have no rights. Not in this land. 15 minutes a day. Clear Mind Media.